sent to Blood Post.
Hello everyone, it is Poncha here with the HorseToast channel, and DeathGarden finally revealed a proper roadmap. No offense to their previous one, but compared to this, you know, it really puts in perspective about what they actually are going to do with DeathGarden, unlike the other one, which, I'm sorry, but it was crap, let's be honest. Anyway, let's get straight into this roadmap and look at September. So, first thing we've got is a new garden. Now, this, in my opinion, is great, simply because gardens, or a new location, doesn't require balancing, or nearly as much balancing compared to, like, an ability that a hunter or runner has. In saying that, though, straight after we've got one hunter gun and one runner perk. Now, for a hunter gun, it could literally be anything, from a flamethrower to a bloody rocket launcher. Personally, I don't mind, it's always exciting to have a new gun, and I imagine that balancing a gun really doesn't take, it's just damage numbers really, isn't it, at the end of the day, and like you can increase like the hip fire from it, or, you know, reduce the spread or something like that, so probably quite easy to tweak and balance, and probably create as well. A runner perk, also really exciting to know. For those of you that actually don't know as well, recently, or very early, you know, recently on the game, we've had a new hunter perk added, and basically it allows hunters to pick up crates without even interacting with them. They just need to be near to the box and you can basically pick up the crates, so that's pretty sick. But for this runner perk, absolutely no idea what they could do. Quite a few ideas out there. It might be one of the ones that was shown on the upgrade stations, but who knows what they could do with that. Then, of course, for those people that love cosmetics, we've got the new tier 3 cosmetics. Now, personally, cosmetics were never really my sort of interest. You know, it's nice to have, like, skins that show off you and everything like that, but personally, they don't really affect me. I'm sure it'll be some nice sort of, like, you know, different looking skins just to make sure that you stand out, you know, however you want. Personally, though, I like going for more camouflage stuff, especially when I'm playing as a runner. Like, you know, you don't think it, but a mate of mine has showed me the actual sort of cosmetics that you need to take to look more camouflaged in the game, and personally, I think it works out. So, but if cosmetics is your thing, then this is great for you sort of people, so I hope you enjoy that as well, which is coming. And then, oh my god, we get into the juicy stuff of this, you know, content update. We get private games. Now, I pretty much assume what they mean by that is private lobbies. Thank the Lord, we get private lobbies. I mean, this game, I think, was gonna, I mean, no offense, but I think this game was gonna really go downhill if we didn't get private lobbies soon, simply because it's very important to have private lobbies, simply because, you know, you might want to play with your friends, you might not want to go up against a, you know, you might want to not do ranked or quick play or anything like that. It may just be really, you know, annoying if you keep getting matched up against a basically broken hunter. Not broken, of course, but I mean like a really good hunter, and you know your team can never beat them. So, also, it's mainly good for parties and friends, because there's a lot of YouTubers out there who like playing with their friends, and all those sort of funny moments videos and everything like that. So private games are a really good thing to keep the game alive, and also it allows us sort of high level, you know, sort of tier players to sort of fiddle around with each other. Not God. Oh yeah, a little bit of that fiddling around. What I mean by that is basically we can sort of test things in those games. We can also basically pit really good teams against really good hunters, decide what we think is meta, and decide what may need buffing or nerfing in terms of the long run. Weekly challenges is always good, because simply that keeps people interested in the game, keeps them coming back and playing the game, so it's an important thing to keep the community growing, and also just keeping people repetitive and coming back to the game every week to play a bit more DeathGarden, other than them just dropping off when new content comes or they get bored or something like that. Then, of course, we've got quality of life improvements. I don't really want to go into much detail about this, because it's pretty much basic what they're talking about. You know, matchmaking improvements, UI feedback and everything like that, you know, fixing bugs and stuff like that. Basic stuff that game developers should be doing for their game, which is actually great, because DeathGarden, to be honest, I haven't experienced many bugs in DeathGarden, but I know a lot of people have been, so it'll be good to fix those bugs and basically, you know, let people play a game that's smoothed out and ironed. And then lastly, for September, we've got BattleEye anti-cheat measures and in-game news for inbox system. Now, BattleEye, I haven't experienced any people sort of hacking on the game, which, you know, it's quite nice, you know, not really finding any hackers. And, of course, having in-game news and inbox systems is just going to give people more information about the game, allow them to sort of understand what the newest sort of content update is when they come onto the game, you know, what they can try out, what's new. And, of course, yet again, going back to BattleEye, it is an important thing that games should have, just in case there are hackers or people trying to hack the game for, you know, who knows what reasons. On to October. Now, we've got one new Garden condition. Now, for those of you that don't know what a Garden condition is, that's basically like fog, night, basically sort of something that's going to affect the environment around you. Don't know what that could be. I'm hoping it's snow, because I simply just like snow and I think it'd be a really cool sort of environment to have in the game. However, it is in October, so maybe they're going to go for more of a spooky Halloween sort of theme, which would be really cool. So it's interesting to see what they're going to choose for that condition. And yet again, we have another hunter gun and runner perk. I'm not going to sort of repeat myself over again. I've already given my thoughts about the hunter gun and runner perks, but yet again, more content, the better. Same with cosmetics as well. Simply more cosmetics makes people more happy. I think the tier 4 sort of thing is basically, I think you have to be either a higher level or have more money. I don't know what they call the sort of credits they have in game, but basically you either need to be a high level or have more credits to unlock these cosmetics, which, to be fair, pretty cool again, because then it sort of gives your rank a bit of a status. Moving down for the rest of October, we've got leaderboards for top hunters and runners. Now, personally, I really like this, because I think it's always cool to sort of know who the best hunters are and who the best runners are, so when you sort of run into them when you run into them in a game, you basically know that you're going up against a really good hunter, or you're going up against really good runners, and you need to be on your guard. That's something that I do despise about DeathGarden, though, is how the hunters can't see the runners' like ranks or names. I would like that to be added, but that's for another time. Holiday challenges, really cool. Of course, that might fit into the sort of October theme with it being scary and stuff like that. Maybe they'll do that sort of stuff as well for Christmas and maybe Easter. Who knows how long they're going to be doing that sort of stuff for? But another nice sort of add to the game. And then, of course, to round off October, we've got quality of life, which is additional progression elements. Now, I think that's quite cool, because a lot of people were sort of getting very repetitive with the progression system, and if they're adding sort of new elements, basically like maybe prestiges and stuff like that, that's quite a nice little add. And then, of course, they're going to be fixing bugs on the way as well. And then, lastly, for November and onwards, they've sort of crammed quite a bit in here. We have a new garden again. Not going to repeat myself on that, but of course, that's pretty sick. I hope it's sort of desert or maybe something different. Gameplay elements such as perks and powers. Now, this is something that I'm glad they're sort of like, leaving a few months down the line, because I don't want them to sort of rush out perks and powers. And, well, I mean, they're adding weapons and golden crates events as well, but basically, this is the sort of stuff that requires balancing. So I'm glad they're sort of, letting that, a few months down the line, so they can sort of fix it out and maybe tweak it and balance it here, just so when it comes into the game, it's not going to be like, as broken as if they like brought it out in September. Because if they brought out, like, let's say they spammed out powers, like as content, they're probably going to be really overpowered or underpowered, and it wouldn't be like fair on the hunters and runners. So I'm sort of very glad that they are waiting for this sort of stuff and bringing it out when hopefully they've tested it a lot more in game. Then we've got career progression for tier 5 cosmetics. Now, yet again, cosmetics, obviously a higher level, you get better skins. And then as we move further down, we have career prestige emblems. Now, this is really cool, because then yet again, it's going to show that if you've played DeathGarden for quite a long time, it's going to show that, you are basically high up there in the ranks, and people are going to know when they see your prestige emblems, basically, God, he's a good player. And then as we move further down, we've got challenge-based cosmetics progression elements. Now, this, yet again, basically, if you do, I imagine this is maybe to do with challenges, or maybe just be with progression, and like basically, the more you play, the more you're going to get better cosmetics and, make yourself look better, which, to be fair, yet again, pretty cool. Shows you sort of status, shows that you're really cool in game, and that you're not really a crap player. And then lastly, on the sort of content, this is an interesting one. One licensed cosmetic bundle, hunters and runners. Now DLC, I probably won't buy it, but there are those people out there who do like this sort of stuff and will buy the cosmetics simply because they like having something different compared to everyone else. Of course, DeathGarden got to make some money somehow other than selling copies. So DLC, as long as it's cosmetics, I got no problem with that. So go for it, DeathGarden. No problem with that here. And then we have a very big one, ranked. Now, ranked, I thought, that's a really cool idea. I'm glad they're bringing that yet again a few months down the line, because it gives those new players who may join in October and September a chance to sort of learn the game and basically get ready for when rank does come, so it's not really an unfair battle if they brought it out like now, for example. And finally, rounding off the roadmap, is we have quality of life anti-disruptive behavior measures. Now, this is a very big one, because I know my little team that I play with, we really do like messing around with hunters when, we're winning a game and we basically got full upgrades. And it can be, it's frustrating, I will admit. We are kind of toxic twats or cunts for doing this sort of thing. But still, it does need to be put in check. And it's the same on the hunter side. The hunters can sort of mess around if you're playing against new runners. They can sort of tease them and teabag them, and it's not really a friendly environment. So it is good that they're putting in these behaviour measures to sort of fix that problem. And yet again, of course, improvements, balance updates, and bug fixing, always important in a game like DeathGarden. So I'm glad we're seeing that, of course, every month. Just before I do go, I will say that we are going to be doing a podcast about this roadmap, and I want to talk to Phoenix and Monkey both about this sort of stuff, and we can discuss about what we think about it, our thoughts and feelings about certain things, and things that we think is bad on the roadmap, things that we think are really good on the roadmap. So it'll be interesting to hear their discussions as well. And just in case you did miss, we actually do have a new hunter perk in the game now. In case a lot of you did miss that, it is the one which basically allows you to walk up to crates and basically get them without having to interact with them. So a really nice perk for the hunters. Might make it easier for those new players that need, that don't really have the time, or it can basically allow you to shoot hunters while you're not interacting with a crate. So pretty nice ability. But the last thing I wanted to touch on before I end off this video is hoodies are coming back to the game. Woo! I mean, I know a lot of people liked the hoodies from Alpha and Beta DeathGarden, so they are bringing the hoodies back. But other than that, thank you very much for watching the video. Please let me know what you thought, and let me know if I can improve. And I hope you guys stick around, because we are going to have a podcast up soon about this roadmap and other things that we're talking about. So other than that, thank you very much for watching, and see you later.